So the next level from there is, once we have a sense and a shared idea of what we're talking about, it's about changing individual and community behavior. Like I wrote in the handout here, if violence is a behavior, and that behavior can be changed, violence does not have to be the end result of poverty, of loss of opportunity, of lack of education. So when people have changed their behavior, and when they first begin to define an issue differently and then change their behavior, people become educated as bystanders. Most of us end up sort of in this position where we're neither the perpetrators of violence, and hopefully we're not also the victims of the violence. That's the biggest group. The biggest group is in the middle as bystanders. And as bystanders, those of us who are not interested in committing violence, and those of us who are not dealing with our own victimization, if we can stand up and take that stand that violence is not okay, then we can galvanize that power, because that's the bigger numbers. It comes with how first responders see a situation. It comes from parenting with nonviolent attitudes. It comes from building up old-fashioned friendships, making relationships with people. And I know you hear again and again, know your neighbors, know who's around you, know who you're saying hi to or not saying hi to on your street. Know the names of, sometimes I learn the names of the dogs that people are walking, sometimes before you learn the names of the people. But even simple acts like that, like making a decision that the people on either side across the street from you, within this week, you're going to know all their names, would be huge. If each one of us did that, that would begin to change behavior. This next, you see how within this theory, this construct, it kind of builds. Next is about building a critical mass. That's what happened during the youth rally. That's what happened when people come out here. It's what happens when young people talk with other young people. It's the peer prevention programs. It's the strength of our youth programs and the organizations and agencies that are here to work with us as a community. It's when people show up for rallies, events. It's when we expand access of opportunities, expand access of services, and it's about collaborations. One of the photos on this is a collaboration photo of the new Mason Square Health Task Force initiative and the grantees who are beginning to work on different health initiatives within Mason Square. Next larger is institutions and policy change. Very often people think, well, if violence is happening, well, then we need to change the laws. We need to get the laws tougher, and it's all about, it's all about the institutions. It's a part of it, but it's not the only thing of it. If all of the other things that go into this actually support institutional change, it can happen. So yeah, we need to have strong laws. We need to have well-functioning government. We need to have elected officials, and we need to vote as citizens. So we need to hold the people that we voted for confidence. I saw a bumper sticker the other day. If you didn't vote, don't whine. So believe it or not, voter registration and turnout in our neighborhood has an impact longer term on ending violence and on the conditions of our life. This next one is about maintaining our gains. This is about making sure that the people, the organizations, the councils, all of the groups and things that are in place to help keep this work going are sustainable. So it means that a funding cut can actually have the ripple effect of increasing violence, increasing poverty in a community. It means that we need to think about what funding and what support is going to the great organizations that are in our midst, places like Dunbar, like MLK, like the Urban League, like all of the places that really support all of these efforts. The networks, we need to make sure that we're joining hands in arm in arm. It's okay. So overall, it requires a vision not just of a community that doesn't have violence, but the community that we want to be part of, that we want to live in, that we really do want to make it, take our stake in, we want to work in, and we want to raise our children in, and go from there. So we're looking for unity, we're looking for safety, peace, and we're thinking about those individual things that we can do within those different levels that together can help create that. So I guess I leave that with a challenge for the panelists and for the rest of us as we conduct ourselves in this forum, is to think about, if you have a complaint and an opinion, try to think about it as a solution. I don't like the fact that this thing is happening, and if this group would take this on, whatever that is, I'd be willing to be part of that difference. So with that, I thank very much for the opportunity